In this video we will see what are the most important things or features we'll use in our corporate day-to-day work. So let's start. So first we'll import the pandas. So first we'll see in how many ways we can create a data frame. First way is very simple. Here we have the list of list, and the inner list contains the column values for the corresponding data frame, and that list will pass into the data frame class argument. So the first is data, and the second is the number of columns we are providing here. So number of columns are field name, text, identifier. Is very simple. So basically we have that data frame called I didn't name it, but it is having field name, text, identifier. Second way to create same data frame, we can have a simple dictionary, and in dictionary we have that column names as a key, and the value is the column value basically. So the name, age, designation, name and other things will come in sequential form, and the same thing for the text and same for the identifier here. So if you run this, you can find that the same data frame which we have generated earlier. Another way is to create a list of dictionaries. So in dictionary we define obviously key and value pair. So key is our column, and the column value is our value of dictionary. So in this way, in this fashion, we have that data. Now we pass to the data frame class as an argument, and we finally generated the same data frame again. Now the most important way to read to create a data frame via reading file. So we can have CSV file, TSV file. What is TSV? It's a tab separated value, and CSV is comma separated value. So you can see we have that CSV file where B is separated through comma. So you will be given these files in form of CSVs, and you just have to load using the method called read CSV, and you will have that data frame called field name that is having column name, field name, text, identifier. Now let's move to another problem. So I was given the same data frame, and I have to find out those groups which are having same identifier. What I mean here, the first row is having identifier called John Harper. This one is also having identifier called John Harper. There is another John Harper here, that is this fifth row having designation as a field name, text as a software engineer. So we'll cluster those different groups. So the first one is having these three information. If I can have this one, this one, this one, these three rows, and so we'll only pick those rows which is having multiple rows for the same identifier. So John Harper will be picked up, Abhay will be picked up, Christopher will be picked up, right? Peter Griffin is not going to picked up. Peter is not going to picked up because it is having only one row. So the code is to do this is this fashion we have to do. So we'll group by our primary identifier, primary column name. So in that case we'll use this identifier as a column name, and we will filter out those rows which is having multiple number of rows. So if identifier present more than one times, length of x greater than 1, then we are going to consider. So if we execute this, you can clearly see greater than 1 values are only coming here, right? Those Peter Griffin, Peter, Lisa has gone from this data frame. If you want to choose those identifier which is having only one row in terms of count, so you can have only 3 rows. So this kind of problems we face in our day-to-day work. And next set of problems are to drop the rows of the data frame. The first thing we normally do is to drop all NaN values. What I mean by NaN is just values which are having no information So if it is null, then we call it NaN in Pandas language or NumPy language. So if you see what I was having that data frame, this one we are having, right? So we have one NaN values. So we can mention in the drop NA method whatever columns uh, we are considering that shouldn't have any NaN. So I consider this text column here. In the subset we provided it text, and if we execute this, we'll finally that row will be vanished out. So if I run this, we can see that now there is no NaN. The complete row will be gone. So this is one of the requirement, one of the tasks we can assign, we can have in corporate. Then there is a another task we have to get the duplicate value index. So what I mean by this, this particular text column, we want to check in how many rows we have that multiple same values. So Peter Griffin coming 2 times in the text column, which are the same, right? So we can get those index or get those information using a method called duplicated. So in duplicated, we can provide this keep. Keep first means the first one will take it, and the second one, which are the duplicate ones, we will remove out. Let's suppose there is a third row which is having the same information Peter Griffin. So only this 9th index values will be considered. 10th and 11th will be wiped out. In this case, the 10th will be wiped out because we have considered keep equals to first. It can be last as well, so you can change it to last. It's up to you, whatever you want. So if we want to get those index, we have that dot index method. It's just a general purpose method. You can put in any data frame and you can easily get the index. For example, so to remove duplicate from any columns, we at least require the index of that row, right? So to get that index, we use that index function as we talked about, and to get the index of whole data frame, you can use this dot index method, and dot to list will give you all the indexes present in our data frame, varying from 0 to 11. It is having 0 to 10 because we drop NaN. So if we print that the present year, you will find those 0 to 11 number of indexes, right? So if we execute this one, we'll get 10th index, which are the duplicated one. Yeah, this one. So this first is we kept it, so 10th index came out. Now if we want to remove this 10th index, we have let's assign it to some variable. So this is the same thing. So I assigned in the variable called duplicate index list, that is 10th, and then we can drop it by providing that list. So there is a method called drop, and we just provide that duplicate index list, and we'll use this in place equals to true. What this does, it just perform the operation in place. So we just execute it, and permanently it will be changed for the TF. Now we'll print the TF. You can see we didn't assign into any variable, just gone. So now there is no second Peter Griffin we have. We can also drop based on the value match. Let's suppose we want to drop out the Peter Griffin completely from here. So whenever the locations, the text values we have Peter Griffin, will delete those rows from the data frame. So there is a method called LOC, location method. Let me execute this piece only first. What I mean here, we can get that location where we have that condition. So we want to get those values or rows where we have text equals to Peter Griffin. Okay, so in this way we'll get that data frame. Right, now to remove anything from data frame, to remove any row, we need index. So we'll use method called index. Now we'll have that 9th index, which is this one. Okay, now we'll provide this information to the drop method. This is the complete line. And what I x is equals to 0 mean here? X is equals to 0 are rows, complies to rows. X is equals to 1 complies to column. So it's a 0, right? X is equals to 0. We talk about only rows here. Now in place equals to true, as we seen, just in place operation it does. Now we execute it and print out that data frame. We'll find that Peter Griffin has wiped out, has deleted. So yeah, these are the some of the things we encountered in our day-to-day work.